Oh, you kind of crying a little bit. Oh my goodness. We got new puppies.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
They're just ours for a few days. They're being shared with us.
So check it out, everybody. We've got little puppy sisters here. Some of you may know who they are. This is the cutest little thing, Trixie. Look how sweet. Look at the little black spots on her ears. She's so freaking cute.
And this is her sister, Ellie.
And Deb is just downstairs because the other dogs are making
She's being
noise.
camera shy like Ripley does. She doesn't want to show her face on camera.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And there's the rest of them. We have 7 little dogs in our house right now. 3 are ours, and 4 belong to our friends Deb and Mel.
4 Poms. Mel's back in Indiana with family, and so Deb came over from California because it's the 4th of July weekend, and that means really crazy fireworks, and that's a lot to do by yourself with 4 dogs. So they're here. It's like we have a doggy daycare here. I'll bring them all up. Let me tell you. Oh, Mason just came up. Let me tell you, Ripley is having the time of her life. She got to hang out with these guys during the remix last year. Deb and Mel stayed here and took care of the dogs while we stayed at the downtown. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
So our dogs pretty much, other than Ripley, no, when we're upstairs and we're talking to them, we're not talking to actual people like in the house. These guys are like, what's going on?
But Ripley's having so much fun having puppy friends because Grizz and Luna will only play with her so much and she doesn't get enough fun time. And now she's got these little puppies that have tons of energy and they like to play.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's actually been really fun already. And we have a few more days left. Look at you.
They're super cute. They just got here last night. So they're going to be here.
This is Jimmy. Let's show Jimmy.
This is Dad, by the way. For those of you that don't know, say hi, Dad.
Jimmy was the one barking downstairs. He couldn't handle being left out alone. So anyway, guys.
I see Mary's in the chat, and I see Brenda. Brenda was with us. A couple of people there in the chat were with us at we just got back from camp listing party.
Mm-hmm.
We were in Phoenix. If those of you don't know, Vegas and Phoenix are like, I don't know, Satan's backyard this time of the year. So it's been a hot week. It's real hot here.
But they had a pool, so it was nice to go to the pool. I think you went.
I went a couple times. I took a couple of breaks and went in the pool the first day before we started.
Real quick, though, at the very top, because I know some people just watched the first bit. I don't know. I want to say real quick, Boss Reseller Remix tickets went on sale yesterday. So that site is live now. The link is down below. We've already been selling tickets like crazy. So you want to make sure you get yours. As we said in our little video, we put out on Friday. The tickets, the in-person tickets are going to be last year's price for all of July. For all of July. There's also virtual tickets, and we have a code down below where you can get $10 off the virtual ticket if you are not able to make it in person. But let me tell you, so as Vikki was saying, we were just in Phoenix for camp listing party. And anybody knows, any reseller event you go to, the absolute best part, always, and this includes Boss, Open, any do, it's getting to see your friends and make new friends. It's networking with other sellers. It's so awesome.
There were some great sessions, don't get me wrong. But honestly, always the best part is hanging out with your friends, making new friends. We met some new people. We made some new friends. Super excited about that. And we got to see a bunch of our old friends.
Yeah, Jill was there. Linda Dean, Sandy Pratt.
Did you just call Jill? Yeah, I say old friends.
Oh, well, you're the one that called her an old friend. How dare you? How dare you? Sorry, Jill. Sorry, Vikki.
And Brenda was there, and Christy. I feel like I'm in Rockland now, and you're there. Anyway, we had a great time. It was a lot of fun hanging out with friends.
We made some new friends. We made some posher friends. Mm-hmm. Tiffany, who's going to be a speaker. We have become, I had made a new bestie, Sarah, who I really hit it off with. We have a lot in common, including our our love for the Aquabats and being Jewish. So as we call each other, we are BJFs.
Best Jew friends.
I call her my BJF, and she's like, and I know exactly what you're saying. Anyway, so it was just really cool to like make new friends, and we just all not much excited for the remix. I love it when we actually all get together, and
it's so much fun. It was nice about this. Katie and I were both speakers, and as well as sponsors. Boss was one of the sponsors. Katie, Theresa, and I, as Boss collectively, sponsored Camp Listing Party. In a show of support, the way that they've always supported us from the beginning, and it was a lot of fun. But what was nice about it is being on the side where we didn't have as much responsibility. So we, other than speaking and monitoring our table a little bit in the mornings, and we had assigned tables for meals so we could meet people, which I like that idea. But we get to hang out. We get to actually hang out and enjoy watch sessions.
Listen, you guys, Diane just won't quit. She came with her daughter Jen, so we got to spend some great quality time with Diane. And Ryan and Allie and Callie, Rally Roots, they were all there. So it was nice because during the remix, we don't really get to spend that much time.
Angie.
Angie, we don't really get to spend a lot of time with them. And so it's pretty cool to actually be at an event where we get to hang out. And then Ryan and Allie are actually coming here to Vegas. They're going to stay with us for a week.
About
next month,
6 weeks,
next month. So probably we'll have a show where we have them on.
Oh, we'll totally.
And you'll definitely see all kinds of stuff. But
and for my local resellers, we're going to arrange a meetup while they're here. We'll do some kind of meetup. I don't know that we'll do it at our home, which we can, like we usually do. But it's so hot. It's like nobody. I don't have a pool, right? So we have air conditioning, obviously, but we don't have a pool where everybody could like cool off and do an outside thing. Yeah. So we'll see. We probably just have it here and just
But I'm excited to have them here because, like I said, like we got to spend a little bit more time with them last week, but actually having them stay with us for like 8 days, we're going to be doing all kinds of stuff.
We are. We're going to do Vikki, right? No, we're not going to do.
She'll stay home.
You cannot go hiking in August in Vegas. You will die.
Okay. Vikki does not know what she's talking about. You go up to Mount Charleston and it is nice and cool. I've done it before. She just doesn't remember it because she was not personally involved.
You can leave me at the bar.
Exactly.
As Trish would say. So we love Ryan and Allie. They're good friends of ours, and we've been fortunate to make so many amazing friends through this community, and a lot of you guys there in the chat as well. So we're excited to have them come and visit and get, have some real visit time. That's one of the great things about making reseller friends is that no matter where you live in the country, lots of us travel to see each other and to spend time together. And, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We're lucky to have a really great community here in Las Vegas, but, friends all over the country. We visit them and they can visit us. And it's really nice because like we live in a vacation mecca, right? So everybody wants to come. So
hey,
tips with Tina. Don't just stalk. I appreciate the comment. Thanks for watching. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. So those of you that want to meet your reseller friends in real life and have met reseller friends and want to make new friends and spend some time with them, please come and visit us in Vegas. The Boss Reseller Remix tickets are on sale now. They started selling yesterday. The link is down below. I will say the tickets are already selling pretty briskly.
Yep.
Who in the chat has already gotten a ticket? I know there's a couple people I saw in the chat. I know Turtlebug Inc. has a ticket, and I think Jill has already bought her ticket. I might be wrong with that. But, I've seen a bunch of the tickets already being purchased.
Sandy bought a ticket already.
Sandy got her ticket already. We're just so excited.
Michelle got hers.
Jay got hers. Michelle. Yep. So we're excited to hang out with you guys. This year, we're really excited that we have all new speakers. And a lot of them are brand new speakers to the reselling community in general, which is pretty cool. They're not new to reselling because obviously we only have speakers that actually have knowledge to share with you. But people that have never paid before. So
Katie got hers.
Cool. Oh, Katie got hers.
And Jay paid her deposit for the cruise.
Oh, what? Jay, I'm awesome. So excited. We're going to have so much fun. My favorite part about this job, if you call it that, is the amazing people that I've met along the way. I know I was telling someone at the Camp Listing Party that my very first reseller event was eBay Open in 2016. I've been reselling since 98, guys, 98. And they used to have eBay Lives and eBay radio events all over the country prior to 2016. And I never went. And they were in my backyard sometimes in Boston. I lived in Rhode Island. And I didn't go. I was like, I don't need any more. I have friends. Why do I need to meet a bunch of people that do what I do? I'm not a joiner. I don't need friends. I have plenty of friends. What the hell did I miss out on for all these years, right?
Yep. What was your first reseller event? eBay Open 2019. That's when we met. Mm-hmm. And then we became fast friends. And now you can't get rid of us.
Reseller friends are some of, not just some of, but the majority of my closest friends are reseller friends now. And,
I married one.
Exactly. I married one. So now, some of I went to the first eBay Open because in 2016, because it was here in Vegas, and I had an acquaintance here in town, who insisted that I needed to go. Like, you need to go. We live here. Why would you not go? I'm like, I don't need to go.
We're talking to Deb, who's sitting behind Vikki.
Which way do I lay?
She's in the, there you go. She's in the live studio audience.
So
comments.
So so I went that first year and I was like, begrudgingly went. I begrudgingly paid for like the $400 ticket, and I was like, it's a waste of time. I freaking loved it. Yeah. I freaking loved it, and I loved.
Loved it. You guys.
I loved meeting all of the people. I really did, and and Sandy lives here in town. She's been a friend and coming to meetups and hanging out and coming to the boss events and everything for years now, and she lives here in town, and I swear to God, I thought her husband was a figment of her imagination until we finally met him.
He's real, you guys.
We met him. He exists.
He likes to golf.
He went to Phoenix with her so that he could golf while he was at the event. Yes, it's lots of golfing.
All right, so moving on. Another thing we wanted to talk about is, as you know, Vikki and I, and also Theresa, were separately guests on the Get Thrifty podcast put out by our Thrift in Colorado. Well, the three of us are going to be on this week's episode. It hasn't dropped yet. It's going to go live on the 4th of July, so Tuesday. I do have the link below, but it's not going to take you anywhere until Tuesday. But so basically, you should check out that. Stay tuned.
Subscribe to their podcast.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's great.
If you're a podcast listener, I mean, I know that there are millions and millions of podcasts, and there are probably a dozen reseller-related podcasts, but this is one of the best ones I've ever heard, if not the best. I really, really enjoy their podcast.
And so then the next thing I wanted to mention is, speaking of reseller friends, I think last week we mentioned meeting Adriana at the bins, mm-hmm. and this week, today, we actually got to see her, and we got to meet her husband, Freddie. They watch our show, and it's always really nice, guys. I know we say this before, we say it all the time, and we'll continue saying it. If you see us somewhere, come up and introduce yourselves. Let us meet you. You know us. We'd like to know you. And it's always really fun to find more people to bring within our circle of reseller friends.
Exactly.
And it was awesome. So shout out to Freddie and Adriana. Thank you guys for coming up and chatting with us. We always appreciate it. And then the last thing before we get into today's show, we've been doing these pre-recorded haul videos, like sourcing videos. We are going to have one for this week. It's going to come out on Wednesday. Vikki and I went to the bins yesterday morning and today. Yesterday, we got a ridiculous amount of stuff. Really, really, really good stuff. Too much stuff to film for one haul video. Plus, we didn't know if we were going to have enough stuff to show for today. So when we went this morning, we got more stuff, not as good as yesterday. And so what we ended up doing is kind of going through and splitting up ours. It's not, just like, oh, this is everything we got today. It's going to be like kind of a mixture of stuff for both days. So we're going to show you stuff today that's for both days. And then on Wednesday, there'll be a pre-recorded video that you guys can watch. And that's the rest of the stuff. So there's not going to be any overlap. And you get to see a whole different haul on Wednesday for those pre-recorded ones that we do. And there's some bonus puppy madness footage that will be in that Wednesday video. If you want to see some puppies in action and some puppy play, you're making funny little sounds there.
It's just hot.
Yeah.
Kind of hot, and she's running hot against me, and she's hot. So
yeah.
Next to mom.
So anyway, I think that's it.
I know, because you don't need to get hot right now.
Yeah. Here's $40 for you.
$75 fuzzy
Luckily, we've got Mason, who you guys didn't see. He's on the floor. His hind legs don't work, so he's not going anywhere. And then you got Jimmy, who does not know how to jump on and off furniture. So he's good. So she really just has to break up the puppies under control.
So, quick question in the chat. So Brenda wants to know when is the next bins visit. As a group, I don't know. But we're going to go later this week.
We might be going tomorrow. We might go tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow, either tomorrow or Wednesday, or both, honestly, because I need to pick up a lot more inventory for my new helper. So,
Deb's for tomorrow. So we might do tomorrow. It's been great though, seriously. And when you guys see our sales highlights for this week, how many pieces I sold that were from the bins. And here's the other thing: we're going to get to our regular show. We break it up into 3 parts. First part is our real numbers for the last week. We look at our fees and our cost of goods. Part of the show, we look at our sales highlights for the week, and the last part of the show is the haul. And let me tell you, my numbers, they were bad last week. They're even worse this last week. However, we have been traveling and doing so much stuff nonstop. We've been getting ready for the Boss Reseller Remix and going on trips and going to camp listing party. It's been really hard to get stuff done. And now we've got Deb ruining any kind of productivity we might have.
Right.
She's lucky we didn't cancel the show because of her, because we do like to, as often as possible, cancel the show and blame Deb. But we said the show must go on. But it's been really hard. But July, we actually have nothing for July.
Nothing on the calendar. No trips and no visitors other than Deb in July. We have people obviously we do stuff. We still go out with friends.
Yeah, but we can have a work day.
Normal work schedule for the entire month of July, and the majority of August we'll be able to do as well. We have one weekend getaway in August, but then we have Ryan out and Allie coming, and God knows we're not going to get much more done other than shipping.
Well, so we're going to be able to buckle down on this new at least 3 days a week at the bins, and we're finding so much great stuff, and we're also going to be able to get to listings. Man, I haven't hardly been listing. I've been able to get some stuff moved up to Depop. So, the numbers show that. It's summer slowdown combined with not doing enough work, not listing enough. And that really does hurt us. And so, yeah, we're definitely going to be having, the month of July needs to be the month that we really get some stuff done.
Yeah, we need to get some work on track done. Because let me tell you something. If I did not, and we did not have a healthy nest egg from the past 2 years of really good sales, 3 years of really good sales, this year we'd be looking for jobs, both of us. So, any of you that are having difficulty and seeing the slowdown, just hang in there, because it really is, to be quite honest with you, my sales have not been this bad since probably 2008.
So, and like you said, it's partially the economy and partially it's us. So, and Deb is in the chat saying horrible things. She's going to start coming back every week apparently to
mess with
really
us.
Make it difficult. But no, I'm having a fun time. Seriously, I am so happy watching how happy Rippling is, because Ripley spent a week with them last October. And at the time, she hadn't really been around a lot of the dogs. I think she was a little overwhelmed, but she got used to them.
They were brand new puppies then.
Yeah, and then a few months back, our friends came over with their puppy, who was a little bit bigger than Ripley, but younger. And Ripley lost her ever-loving mind.
She hated
She
her.
was so scared, but she was being scared aggressive.
And she was like a Maltese, so it wasn't like it was a big dog.
She just wanted to play with Ripley, and Ripley went freaking crazy, and we actually had to separate them because she was being so mean. And so then I was worried, oh, these guys are going to come here, she's not going to remember them, and she's going to be an asshole again. But no, she remembered them, and now they are BFFs.
We've been running and playing, because our other 2 old ladies, they'll play with her a little bit, but not nearly as much as this puppy wants to play.
Yeah, so it's been great. All right, let's go ahead and
hey, Jody, I miss you.
Listen to your voice when you think about Jody. Do you love Jody?
I love Jody.
She loves Jody.
I do.
Sorry to everybody else who came into the show, which doesn't have that reaction. It's really mean.
I also love
See, Jody is
Deb says, I
lovable.
also love Jody. I'm sorry, Ray goes, Jody. It has been a while since we've seen Jody, so we do miss Jody. Jody got her ticket to the Remix, so we'll definitely see her in October.
Well, she lives in town. You better see her before October, man. Listen, this is not okay.
Okay, let's go ahead and look at our sad numbers, you guys. Ooh, news layout. I don't want that.
My numbers are almost identical to what they were last week.
Yeah, mine are less.
Yours are bad.
But let me tell you, I'm loving my cost of goods, at least. Those are getting lower. 11 eBay orders, 7 Etsy, 5 between Grill, McCurry, and Depop. for a total of 23 outgoing orders. Now, also, mind you, this last week we don't do time away, put our stuff on vacation mode because we found that we have even fewer sales.
It takes a long time to recover from vacation.
And so we just extend our handling time using our business policies. And then as each day goes, we shorten the time. So, but it still has an impact. So eBay gross sales, $749.06, Etsy, $457.13, and then Grant Macari and Depop, $361.99 for a total gross sales of $1,568.18. Real sad. Yeah, what are you pointing at?
I was just going to say, Liz says this last week has been ugly. It's very true. To be fair, the majority of sellers, and I know before somebody pipes in and says, my sales are great, the majority of sellers see a slowdown in the summer.
Yes.
Specifically, July is the worst because this is the most popular time for people to be on vacation, take trips, and be out with their kids, and they're at home sitting in front of their computers buying crap.
Yeah, but you know what? So my listings have been very sporadic, and I will tell you what. When we had Alexis here last week or the week before, she is very much about. She's very disciplined about doing 12 listings a day at least.
She has not missed a day in 18 months. 12 listings a day minimum.
And guess how her sales are?
They're excellent.
They're excellent. So,
she's down to only selling just shoes.
She's
niched down to just shoes. Not that I want a niche because I'd be freaking bored.
No, but I bet if we actually consistently did that every single day, it would have positive impact.
Well,
it's really difficult
with my new employee, who is going to be able to do 75 to 100 listings a week for me, my plan is to do 20 listings a day minimum.
Yeah,
between her listings and mine.
Yeah, so I think you'll see it.
I think I can do that. So
yeah. Anyway, so my total net sales $1,242.74. My gross, I almost said 70. 70 is usually my goal. There's some growling going on back. Is she yelling at me? What's happening? So almost hit 70. That's usually my goal for my gross average sale price, and then 54.03 for my net.
So your net is higher.
What my net is because the cost of goods are so low. It makes
funny how that happens when you get cheap like me.
You shut your mouth. I had to do it. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at Vikki's numbers.
Which these are not, to be fair, much better than yours. I think I'm $50 less this week than I was last week. So again, still shitty for $2,000 a week is not enough for me. So
for your extravagant lifestyle.
Yes, that's it. So it does not keep me in the lifestyle I would like to become accustomed to. Okay? So 17 eBay orders. Now that hurts. Usually I'm 50 to 60, not usually, but that's where it should be, 50 to 60 a week. So 17 eBay, 5 Etsy, 13 Poshmark. Again, I'm going to say this real briefly. Some of you may be using this and some of you may not be using this. I've been in the Poshmark beta. I was in that for a month. And the beta test, they give it to you for 30 days for free. So you can see an uptick in your listings or not. So you can decide whether you wanted to pay. I saw a big uptick last month. So I decided to pay. I'm paying $25 a week. May not be in everyone's budget. It really does depend on what you sell and how big your closet is. But for $25 a week, I am seeing a very large uptick in my Poshmark orders.
You're selling more than Etsy.
Yeah, and it's just about advertising, like promoting listings. You're not paying in addition. It's not like eBay. You're not paying a percentage of your sale. You're paying an advertising budget.
Yeah.
Much like Etsy does, and eBay does that as well. It's just a different type of promotion on eBay, most people don't use.
Yeah.
And I've never used it on eBay, nor will I probably ever. But I just wanted to let anybody know that if you have the beta available on Poshmark, you have nothing to lose. Do the beta for 30 days. They don't charge you. There's absolutely nothing to lose in the beta.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth playing around with it.
And then if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work, whatever. But anyway, so 1 Macari sale, 36 total orders, $871 on eBay, $459 on Etsy, $627 on Posh. I did about $3,000 in Posh in the month of June. That's very good for June. That's normally what I'm doing in November and December on Posh. So a total of $35 one sale for just under $2,000 for the week.
Okay.
Shipping $153. I did have quite a few international orders, even though nothing was super heavy. But look at my cost of goods. Again, like Katy, $93 for my cost of goods.
Yeah.
And I had a couple of items that were over the $2 or $3 mark. But if any of you watch Kristen Rural Squirrel, her average cost of goods is something like $1.37. She averages out through almost all minutes. So she always just says her cost is $1.37 because she averages out based on the number of items she gets throughout the year and the number she sells. And that's pretty accurate. I don't do that because I do have some things that I've paid up for, and I always acknowledge that I have weekly cost of goods. But at the point right now, my average cost of goods is somewhere around $2. Yeah. So my just under 1,500 total net, 55 gross ASP. I like to be between 50 and 60, so that works for me. And then 40 net, not spectacular, but it's okay.
Not 28 listings a day. It was our friend Alexis. It's 12. She doesn't have like a social media presence or anything like that. She's a friend of ours.
She's just a normal seller.
Well, yeah, she's a good friend of ours, but she's listing at least minimum 12 a day. And that means when she was here to take a couple of days off, she was still making sure
she had drafts ready, so she made things live.
So she's very, very, very disciplined with that, which is funny because she's total ADHD, but that's
about everything.
Very, very disciplined with that. And it really does reflect in her sales. So, okay. So anything else you want to say about your numbers?
No, I mean, they're dismal, but I know that this is considered a good amount for some people. And again, like I said, I did just hire a new person that's working for me, and that's going to be about a $200 to $300 a week expense. So my sales do not reflect enough of the ability for me to actually pay that. Obviously, I'm paying it. I'm just saying, like, sometimes when you hire someone to work with you or work for you, you're going to be incurring an additional expense for quite a long period of time before you actually see the results, before it pays off. So just know that it's an investment in your business, an investment in your sales, an investment in your store. So it doesn't work for everyone, and it's not something everyone can afford depending on the level of store is. But when you want to level up and you need to create more listings or more drafts or what have you, it can be done, and it does make a difference. So every time I've hired someone new, it's been an expense for the first, month or two at least before before it pays for itself.
It's all about like how you look at it. So, for instance, I used to pay up a lot on my inventory. I can't right now because of how sales are. I had to make some changes, not only adding new platforms but lowering my inventory costs. And so, if you're going to the bins like Vikki is, and the majority of your items cost maybe $1 to $2. And then you're paying somebody by listing, and so that adds another $3 cost. That means that she has an average selling price. She tries to keep it between 50 and 60. So if with having somebody hired, it's costing her maybe $5 an item, and that's from buying it to listed. So I mean, it can. If you look at it that way, it can seem.
There's even fulfillment centers that it works for some people. I'm not there, but there are places you can send your inventory in, and they will ship it for you. Yeah. So you can be totally hands off. If you get your cost of goods low, if you keep your cost of goods low, and you get your stuff listed quickly, or you get your stuff sent in to a fulfillment center, and they list it and ship it for you. I mean, you could be, if your cost of acquisition is $1 to $2 an item, and you pay $6 or $7 for someone to ship it for you and store it for you, but your average sale price is $60. I mean, that's still quite a good profit with you being almost entirely hands off. So
I just think
that's kind of my next step. I would like to get to there at some point. I'm not there yet, but I'd like to get there at some point. I want to just be able to buy and ship it in somewhere.
I think some people just think the whole hiring thing it sounds really scary and like, oh, now do I have to do all this different stuff and get complicated and everything? No, if you're just starting out.
You print out a W-9 form online. You print out a W-9 form. They fill out a W-9 form, so you have their social security number and everything. You pay separately out of a separate account. I Zelle. It used to be PayPal. Because I would have money in PayPal. Now I don't sell anywhere where I accept money on PayPal. So I Zelle them weekly, and you keep track, because you're paying it out of that specific account. And then at the end of the year, you're going to send them a 1099. And that 1099 is something you can create very easily online yourself. It's not that you need to have an accountant to do that for you.
Right. But if you pretty well know what you're doing when it comes to sourcing, and you know what to buy that's going to sell, then adding that little extra cost to get more stuff listed does really make a big difference. Okay, let's get into.
I know we could sit here and lecture for hours.
Sales. Right? I'm not lecturing. Let's get into our sales highlights for the week. My overall were pretty mediocre. But
I mean, I did pull some good ones, or tried to. So
what do you got?
This is a vintage dead stock shirt. I actually bought this from Whatnot. I bought about 12 of these vintage, dead stock, Raglan, different sports teams from a certain seller. I can't remember his name, to be honest with you, but I paid $7 a piece for them. So I'm $7 into this one versus the $2 I usually spend. But and it took a little while to sell. I mean, 6 or 8 months or whatever, but it sold for $70 plus shipping.
So we were just watching the Mick. Is this one of the guys the characters that they dressed up as for Halloween? Remember it was a picture? I feel like it was Fernando.
No, she dressed up as
there were
Johnson.
There were 2 of them.
The big unit Johnson. She dressed up as Johnson. I don't know who he dressed up as. I can't remember.
Alba, didn't she dress up as Fernando Valenzuela?
Valenzuela? Maybe.
I'm just saying, we've been watching the Mick, okay?
Which is 3 years old.
And right, it's more than 3 years old. I think it's like 6 years old or something. I'm just saying, guys, it's not weird. I never remember the name of it. There's a word for you hear about something for the first time, and then like a day later you see it again. I'm almost positive
it's like when you buy like a white Camaro,
freaking
you see
pictures in baseball. But I'm almost positive that was the character. That,
right? We're not sportsing people.
We're not sportsing people. I'm just saying, guys, it's weird. We watched the episode like 2 days ago. But it's a very fun show. Shocking that Vikki thinks it's as funny as I do, because we generally do not like the same stuff. And it is a very stupid show, but in only the funniest ways.
Well, and it's set on in New England, so that's
probably why.
I think
that's probably the only reason.
And she's I think that's it, because she's
I've tried to get her to watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with me. She will not do it. And I even tell her the freaking Mick is the same character that she plays at Sweet D in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. She's a little bit more rotten in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but pretty much the same character. She will not watch it. I try. Anyway. Moving on. Good sale. You paid like $10 for each of them?
7, I just said.
7. Whatever. Okay, so this, you know how I've been showing you guys stuff where I'm like, I think something's so mediocre, I regret picking it up, and then it literally sells like the next a couple days later. Well, the opposite is also true. I think this shirt is so freaking cool. This is an 80s Chrysler laser t-shirt. It's got the best graphic. It's such a cool looking shirt. It's like vintage early 80s, which, by the way, for anyone who likes to learn about tags, you know that the Screen Stars tag, when you see a tag like this is definitely 80s. But if you notice the A, see how the A has that little rounded edge on it? That's only in the very early 80s, like 81, 82.
And didn't they have it like super late 70s too, like 78?
Yeah, there's some different colors. And on. But well, this one is 80s, but it's like early 80s.
No, I know you can tell 80s because of the date of the vehicle and stuff. So,
well, that too. But anyway, it's just a tag listing. This shirt I have had for freaking ever. I feel like this picture is from our old house with that old curtain, and I've had it for so long. And I've sent out offers for like $40 a million times, and I'm like, why would nobody want this shirt? It's the coolest. But somebody sent me an offer for 35, and I know guys, I've got it for 70. That's a 50% offer. I don't care. I've had it for so freaking long. Somebody's like, just take it. But I still love it, guys. Look how cool it is. Pretty cool. It's such a sweet shirt.
It almost reminds me of like a Knight Rider type of look. Yeah, the car facing out with a gold
laser. You see, it was only around for 3 years, so I was like, hot dog. This T-shirt's gonna make me a gold $69.99 air.
$69.99 air.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
So this is something I picked up at the bins. It's a heavyweight. It's just a track jacket from Wicked the musical. It's just merchandise that was probably sold either at the merch store or in the merch department or whatever after a show or some concert somewhere, some theater. Don't know. Could have been Broadway. Could have been anywhere. Started on Broadway, obviously. But anyway, someone grabbed it and then they donated it. So I ended up getting it at the bins. So I paid about $3 because it was over £1. There were several listed and several sold. It sold in like 2 days for full price. There were others that were new. There were others that were listed cheaper than mine. I always price my stuff high, as you guys know, in order to send offers or to have sales. So I'm actually shocked that it sold as fast as it did. Maybe it was the 2XL. Maybe there wasn't one that was the right size before. But whatever the case may be, well, it's not old. It is still playing places, right. So it's not vintage or anything. There were others that were new. I don't know. Okay. I don't know the answer as to why it sold for as high as it did, but I'm grateful it did. It sold pretty quickly. $3 into $80. It was listed like 3 days.
Nice. Oh, can you guys hear us? Our microphone is like a million miles away. Probably, maybe, I don't know. Tell us how the sound is in the chat, or did everybody fall asleep because our voices were like we were at the end of a tunnel? Because you guys have been real quiet there. So let me know. I just realized the microphone was like way far away. Does it sound better now?
We didn't even move it closer to us.
I know.
We suck.
I know. We're terrible.
We're like the worst.
So unprofessional. You might as well just get on your phone and start Facebooking.
Horrible.
All right, let me close this. Oh yeah, so Lori says we sounded fine. Sandy Pratt said, "OMG, much better."
All right. Well, sorry, we were probably talking into a talk before.
Sorry about it, guys. Okay, next up, I have this awesome ski sweatshirt. You know how I love the ski stuff. Look at that big, bright pink back hit Elon acceleration tour, and it's got this great graphic on the front of it. You can see the little skiing dude. Rapid transit acceleration tour. I love it. Anyway, you guys know I love my ski stuff. Ski sweatshirts don't really.
It's got a little sleeve hit.
Don't really sell. Where's the sleeve hit? Oh yeah, rapid transit. Some of my ski sweatshirts don't sell as quickly. I don't understand. I think people should love skiing stuff as much as me, but whatever. Everyone should. I sent an offer out for $40 and I sold it. I think I paid probably like $5 for it, $6 for it. I love it. So whatever. That's all that really matters, right? We don't have to make a living any other way. All right, what's this?
So this is a sweater I grabbed at the bins. This is just a tag that I wanted to tell people about. So I paid like $2 at the bins. It was under £1. My Neighbor Totoro, anything that's Studio Ghibli. It's a very, it's an anime company, an anime design company, an anime production company. There's like the anime videos and books and blah, blah, blah. This stuff sells very well. This is not vintage. There were others listed. Again, this was listed for a week, maybe 2 weeks max.
I would like to point out I did grab this and give it to you because I'm such a generous soul.
That's what it is. As she threatened to murder me today because I kept something that she wanted.
Never. I would never do that.
Anyway, that's so it sold pretty quickly, and my customer was like thrilled to get it, and it's used. It's not. I mean, it's in great condition, but like, if you didn't know to look for that, it just looks like a basic cardigan sweater with like a little goofy design on it of a little rabbit and whatnot. I mean, I know nothing about anime whatsoever. Nothing.
It's true.
But that's a really good ROI, obviously. So just keep it in mind. It was just like show you the label, the title, My Neighbor Totoro. And there's lots of different things by that company, Studio Ghibli. It's a popular one.
Yeah, it's very, very cute. All right, next up, guys, I sold a cow shirt. If you like cows. I love cows. This is like the cutest cow shirt ever. Look, it's got little strawberries on it. It says berry dairy.
Is that where you get strawberry milk?
Yep. This is from a 10K 2-mile run thing in 1993. But I just love the cow with all the little strawberries on it. I will say I'm running dangerously low on cow content in my store. I think I have 1 or 2 things left right now. But
did you hear that, guys? If you have vintage cow content, please keep an eye out for Katy.
Yeah. I just feel like cows. She loves cows. Anyway, I love this one, and somebody sent me an offer for $49. And see, when I price something at $69.99, I have price points, and then I know what my bottom dollar is. This one was $50. Someone offered me $49, and I'm like, okay, that's just stupid. It's $1. So I went ahead and accepted it. This was something I picked up when we went to Colorado last year. So I paid $6 for it. It's adorable. I can't stand it. A little sad I had to send it away, but
it's cute.
It's just real
you would never wear it. You don't.
Well, I would wear it, but I like to look at it.
I will say she deliberately wore a vintage T-shirt from her inventory every day at Camp Listing.
Yeah, because my session was teaching about vintage tees, so I figured I should wear vintage T-shirts every day.
I did not, but I did dress up on my presentation day in kind of a pin-uppy outfit. Yeah, it wasn't vintage though, because I'm fat and vintage clothing that fits me, that looks nice is not plentiful.
Real quick, speaking of pinup, I'm 44 years old, and my mother has never told me that the inspiration for my name, I was named after Katy Keene from the Archie comic books. Katy Keene, who was America's pinup model. She was physically designed after Betty Page. There's tons of apparently you used to be able to write it at your fashion tips and fashion advice for Katy Keene for them to design around. And you go back and look at the pictures, and she's she looks like Betty Page in the comic. Mm-hmm. But that's where my name is from, Katy Keene. So I think it was meant to be at you and I together because you like to pick stuff. Yeah, that was just a little something I wanted to share with you guys. All right, off the cow train here. What do you got?
This was a bins find. I probably had this a good 6 to 8 months, but this is a dead stock 80s Givenchy.
Ooh, Givenchy.
Da Vinci for us ignorant Americans. Most of us say it that way. I'm not
Givenchy.
But it has a tag on it, so it was dead stock, vintage 80s. I actually have one in pink in my store right now as well. That was not dead stock, strangely enough. But it sold for the price you see there. See, it was like originally $50-something, then on sale for $29, and it's from the 80s. Anyway, from Marshall Fields. Someone never wore it.
Givenchy.
But sold for $117, and that weighs less than a pound. So I paid maybe $1 for it. Very cool. It's really pretty.
Love it. I love it. All right. I've been picking up some polos, and every once in a while, because it's not like polos fly off the shelf or off the rack or anything like that. But I've been kind of being like, I feel like they're still worth picking up. And so I had bought this, I don't know, maybe a few weeks ago. I just like the stripe pattern. For the most part, I don't pick up the just plain ones unless I know for sure. It's like, I mean, a Lacoste I would. With a polar off Lauren, it probably would have to be made in the USA or have like a really good design on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just really like this kind of sort of stripes, sort of color blocking. So I've had this listed for like maybe a month at the most.
I remember when you got it because it said made in France, and I told you it was a vintage tag because it said made in France and has the number. Well, instead of small, medium, large, the current Lacoste ones are not made in France and they don't have the number. Like it has number 4, that's French sizing. They all have American sizing now.
To be fair, I would just like to, as I know Vikki would do the same if I had said this on the show, I did know it was vintage, but yes, you also knew it was vintage. But I sold it. Somebody made an offer for $59, and it was one of those things where I was like, heck yeah, because again, in my mind, my bottom dollar at this price point is $50. So when somebody offered $59, and I bought it at the bins, which means I paid less than $1 probably, because I think maybe it weighed 8 ounces. I was very excited, and I felt a little bit more reinforced about my belief that I should be picking up at least some of the polos at bins. Because polos aren't as fun and exciting as a t-shirt.
This is another one that I did not have listed very long at all. So this was a bins find and listed. I hadn't even put it away yet, so that tells you how long it was listed. Not very long, maybe a week and a half. Cute little terry cloth jumpsuit. Really cute. I think it was more. It's. Had I listed it, I don't know. I missed out on putting like Barbie core or whatever in it because the whole pink and white girly thing is exploding as we kind of knew it was going to with the new Barbie movie, which looks like absolutely flippin' atrocious. However, that's good for marketing and merchandising. So I paid $2 or $3 at the bins. This is terry cloth, so it's a little heavier. And it sold for a customer actually sent me an offer on Etsy. This is the first time that I have been sent an offer on Etsy, and I was able to accept it, and they paid. So in the couple of months I've been doing the Etsy offers thing, this is the first time it actually worked. Sorry, I'm just holding back again. He's gonna jump off the couch.
I know, he was just being restless. All right. Yeah.
Didn't want him to get hurt.
Next up, you're all right, little dude. Your mom's coming. Next up, on Etsy, I had some good sales. This is a t-shirt I maybe paid like $5 for. I really like the ringer tee. And then this is like for some tire company or something.
Oh, yeah. That guy looks familiar.
But to say no to drugs is Dayton
Tire.
That's
why I said it looked familiar. You got this in Rhode Island because it's from Rhode Island.
Okay, Dayton Tire Warehouse. Say no to drugs. There you go.
No,
say no to drugs.
I was trying to figure out why he looked familiar because this guy was a guy that was on TV. So Frankie or Tracy, if you happen to be in the chat, they'll know this guy was on TV in the 80s all the time.
From Cranston, Rhode Island.
Yeah, it turned into a different company after this. I want to say he used to have watch giveaways. It was right on Cranston on Route 10. Anyway, I don't remember what it was. It's like the Cruz Brothers building now. But anyway, Rhode Islanders, we give directions by where things used to be. And that was this guy. I can't remember his name to save my life, but.
Well, and since it was from Rhode Island, the only, we thrift a little bit when we go there. And I've never paid more than $5 for a t-shirt I thrifted in Rhode Island. So, but I love it. And I did not sell for the prices either. I have it on 10% off sale. So it was actually $62.99, but pretty good deal for only paying like $5.
So Turtle Bugging has a question in the chat. She says, I'm part-time. So maybe I think about it differently, but there's a lot to be said for a quick sale. Like, do I really want $15 more in 8 months? I don't think you're wrong about that. There are many different ways that you can sell that work well for you. It really depends on how much money you have invested in the item, how much storage you have, and ability to store items. If it's cramping your style, sell it fast. And also how much you want to turn over your inventory and how quickly.
It's a preference.
It's really a preference. Sometimes I'm going to look at something and be like, yeah, I paid $3. Okay, I'll take 40, even though I know it'll sell for 80 in 6 months. So it really depends. Like right now, I'm definitely taking a lot more offers than I normally would because sales are so slow. So I know that I don't have a lot invested in my inventory. However, if I have $1,000 item, even if I paid $5, if you offer me 100, you're not going to for 100. I mean, I'm going to hold out on the good shit, but it really does depend. It depends on your selling strategy, and that is all it is. It's a strategy. There are lots of people and YouTubers, influencers, whatever, a lot of people that say that, check your sell-through rate, check the sell-through rate. The sell-through rate is the most important thing. That is absolutely not true for every category. It's absolutely not true for every seller.
It depends on your preference, what your selling model is, how you want to operate your business. If you want to do high volume, lower prices, then that means you want to move stuff quickly. The sell-through rate is going to be more important to you. If, however, you have super unique one-off items and you would rather do low volume, high prices, then sell-through rate's not always going to matter. Mm-hmm. But it does probably mean it might take longer to sell. And you just have to be okay with that. But we never, ever tell people that there's one way to do it because there isn't. There are a lot of successful sellers who like to flip things very quickly. And there's people who like to do it much slower. And it just really depends on what works for you, what kind of is
how much you have. I mean, how much room do you have and all that kind of stuff. Don't go buying warehouse space or storage space if you can't afford to do so, if your sales don't support those types of numbers in order to hang on to stuff to get higher prices. That is never going to make sense. So there's a lot of factors that go into it, and that's really going to be individual depending on the seller. Okay, let's go to the next one. I want to say his name's Les Schwab, maybe?
Anyway, Tracy says...
She doesn't know who it is. I know, I saw it.
Tracy says he's from Everett.
No, that's Frankie is from Everett. I read it.
How dare you? I'm being attacked left and right, you guys. I don't know. It's Rhode Island. What do I know about Rhode Island? Okay, go ahead.
It's pretty great because it produced me. So there you go.
Yeah, I guess. All right.
Rude.
I love this shirt, though.
This shirt, I don't know. This is one of those, okay, why didn't this sell? I've had it since October of 2020. This was acquired from the Clothing Vault buyout, which was the Clara and Amanda, the owners of List Perfectly.
I love this.
They had this as part of their inventory. I acquired all of their inventory when they stopped selling. And we drove out and loaded up the truck in October of 2020 from their garage. So I don't know why it took so long to sell. This was one of those, I thought it should have sold real fast. Yeah. I love this shit. But it finally sold. It sold for what you see there, $100. And I've sent out offers on this on every platform forever, and as low as $50, $50.
Nice.
So I'm pretty happy that it finally sold and sold for a good amount.
Nice. Yeah, Tracy, you should apologize to me because you really got me in a lot of trouble here. So I'm just saying. Okay. Next up, speaking of Polo Ralph Lauren, this is a hoodie. Now I say Ralph Lauren. You say Ralph Lauren. What is the correct way to say it?
I think it's kind of like niche.
Somebody's niche. Name. Yeah, but it's somebody's name.
Well, Lauren, you don't say Lauren for a girl's first name.
I know, but I thought this particular name. I don't know. You're correct. I just thought Ralph Lauren was pronounced Ralph Lauren, not because I pronounced the word Lauren. So we'll ask the at-home audience. Anyway, this is a hoodie I picked up. I thought it was cool. I like that it's kind of like a reverse construction, like inside out construction. You can see it's got the rough edges, the raw edges there.
It looks kind of like faded.
Yeah, faded. And so I bought it, and I've only had it up for maybe a couple months at most. And because of how much it weighs, I probably paid like $3-4
and that's a bins
for it. This was a bins find, and I sold it for, not the price you see there, it was 10% off. So I sold it for $62.99. I've been doing really well. I had a zip up Ralph Lauren hoodie that I sold from the bins. Like my Ralph Lauren, my Polo stuff has been doing really good that I get from the bins, and you'll see another item that I sold from there. But geez, $3 maybe that I paid for it turns into $62.99.
not too shabby. Jody says it the way Vikki says it. So Jody, you're dead to me.
And now
I'll see you. I'll see you in October, not a minute sooner.
You are right. Now we're talking about it. Now I don't know how to say it. Anyway, let's go.
Lori, you're my new best friend. Thank you for agreeing with me and knowing that I'm always correct. Okay. Next up for you.
This was another clothing vault buyout purchase item. So this was, again, has been listed since October of 2020. It sold for the price you see there, $184 plus shipping, because this actually was shipped to, I want to say Belgium, maybe. So they paid quite a bit for shipping because this does weigh like 6 pounds. It's super heavy. It's got that faux fur lining. It's super heavy and thick. Anyway, great item. It took a long time to sell. Militaria often does.
Yeah, it's pretty slow the last few years.
Militaria used to sell way more, and I do think that people that did reenactments or collected it were starting to die off. Is really what it is. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just it facts, right? People are getting older, so it's not, nobody in their 30s or 40s are doing reenactment or collecting militaria. Not nobody, but most people are not. They're not doing that. So I think the older people that did collect militaria are just not buying anymore.
Yeah. Los Angeles Thrifter says, I say it the way Vikki says it. Yeah, you know what, Los Angeles Thrifter, you probably also call sweatshirts crew necks. So your opinion doesn't matter.
See how bitter she gets?
I'm gonna have to do some research into that because I really do want to know. Because I'm like, I always say it and I go, am I saying it the right way? I don't know. Maybe I'll find
Kevin asked, is that windproof? It's the hell out of me. I don't know.
I mean, it seems like it's pretty thick. I mean, that would have to be windproof.
First of all, it's 60 years old. I have no idea. It's very thick. I assume it's windproof.
It's fleece lined. It's a very tight knit outer shell.
It's the same type of material that you'd find on American militaria. That army green, thick, canvasy type of fabric. So
and then you add the fleece inside. I can't imagine it's not windproof.
Yeah,
waterproof probably not. But all right. Anything else?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Now, this one I'm especially happy about because, it can be real competition to go up against the t-shirt bros at the bins, but there's a lot of stuff that they're kind of like, whatever. Like, they're not so excited about jackets. And so, and I know
they're really not.
I had sworn off jackets a while ago, but now I am picking them up and I'm doing pretty well with them. So this is just like your basic vintage Ralph Lauren bomber. I call it bomber only because I did get in trouble on Etsy for using the terms Harrington and Barracuda, and I would much more like to describe this as a Harrington/Barracuda jacket, but I think that's more accurately.
I think someone reported you because I've never been taken down, and I have a bunch of those listed like that.
Well, yeah, but anyway, but I did write back to them, and they said as long as you don't use those, we will remove our complaints, which I've had 9 out of 10 times when Etsy takes something down. If I email the email that they give you, I've had them reverse their, take it off because I just don't want to have too many strikes. I don't know.
I've never had any takedowns like that, but I have recently and so has a few other people. I think Michelle was the one that contacted me this week and said that there's got to be some bot going through that's taking down anything Nike right now on Etsy.
Yeah,
they put it back up.
They did it to me too.
They put it back up. Actually, it was.
But I probably get one every month to 2 months. It's way more than happens on eBay now. I get different. The latest one was Arizona State University had took down a T-shirt of mine. It was like an '80s T-shirt, and I have this email that I copy and paste. And I just change the details on where I basically say this is a vintage item. I'm not producing these. I'm not selling these. Would you? I want to be able to keep the history alive of your label, your brands. Would you rather me throw these away or destroy them? And they pretty much always respond and say we are,
sorry,
removing, whatever. Anyway, so this is a jacket I picked up. I sold it for $89.99. Again, it's not a very heavy jacket, so maybe I paid $3 for it, and it sold within a couple of days of me listing it. It was in really good condition. $89.99. So I was super, super happy about that. Where's that? There we go.
So this, you can tell from the photographs that this is one of my older pieces because it doesn't have the background removed. But this is where, if those of you that were at Camp Listing Party and did hear my talk about vintage clothing, I've never actually given a talk like that before. I am going to see if I'm able to get the recording from that and share it with you guys on our channel. I would like to do that just because it was well received. So maybe there's something other people can learn from it. Anyway, I do talk about all the time that vintage doesn't necessarily have to be vintage. People that collect vintage, wear vintage, etc. Sometimes they just want the retro items. So this is a brand that does retro very well. This is a beautiful brand. Their clothing is extremely well constructed and very nice and great fabrics. So this was one that probably cost $200 or $300 brand new. It did sit for quite a while, and that was probably due to my photos being pretty shitty at the time. But in any case, this was a bins find probably a year and a half ago or so. So I paid just a couple of bucks for it. And it took a while to sell, but it sold for $65. So it's not just always vintage specifically. Sometimes retro is just as good for people. I personally wear very little vintage because those of you that know me and see me here, obviously I'm a curvy girl. And good vintage clothing is very difficult to find to fit my proportions. However, retro clothing in vintage style works well for me. And that's something I really love to wear. When and if I actually find something that fits me, generally speaking, they didn't use stretch materials then. So stretch materials like spandex and whatnot. So if it fits me, it's usually like a way too boxy and not flattering. So, and hey, I'm a reseller.
What's happening? Yeah, Britt got an ASU takedown too.
I'm a reseller. It was great to meet you at Camp Listing Party. He's another one that we met at Camp Listing Party. Put your name in the chat so that they can follow you. He's I'm going to pronounce your name wrong, and I apologize. But he does a lot of like flipping his stuff in. He's his stuff into a fulfillment center.
Well, he's got a YouTube,
and
right?
Travels and flips. And yeah,
he's literally right there.
Oh.
People click on his name.
So.
Also, Los Angeles Thrifter apparently wants to battle here. No, just kidding. I don't know what answer they say, but sneakers or tennis shoes? What do you say?
I say sneakers, but I do think that original thing, it's kind of like soda or pop.
I think I say both. I've said tennis shoes.
I never say tennis shoes unless I'm describing them. Sometimes I'll put both in the title.
But I also, I think I say both. Or I think maybe sneakers more, but I think there's a little bit of both. But like pop, I grew up saying pop, and now I say soda. Something changed. I'm matured.
I'm from the East Coast, so I do think that, nobody called them tennis shoes on the East Coast. So I never even really heard that term all the time until then. So yeah.
Oh, you coming to Boss? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, it's really fun. You're going to have an awesome time.
We're super excited. If you enjoyed yourself at Camp Listing Party, you're going to love Boss. So yeah, you'll have fun. It's a super fun event. And it's, it's informative and fun. We have a great time.
It's informative and fun. Jody says tennis shoes. All right, I'll Jody.
See, and she's from Georgia, so I don't know.
Jody, since I say tennis shoes sometimes, I'm willing to hang out with you one time before October, but I'm still mad.
You're such a
All right. Anything else on this one?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, next up. Not like a crazy exciting sale. I just wanted to show that I sold a Christmas sweatshirt for $44 in July. So anything's possible. It's a Christmas miracle.
And yes, it's a vintage sweatshirt, but let's be real. How much new Grinch crap that's cheap is out there? This is because this is made in the USA and it's vintage. You know, it's thicker and feels nice and it's better. It's a better item. But there's so much Grinch crap out there right now, so that it's actually funny to me when the vintage stuff sells. It truly goes to show that people really like vintage quality items better. It's not just like the specific.
And it is because we're at the bins now quite frequently, and so many times I see things that like kind of look cool, and I go to grab them, and I'm like, ugh. Especially like sweatshirts,
and they feel like garbage.
They have this like they're super light, and
it's a weird texture.
It's like this. It's a very what do you call it? Like fake feeling. It just doesn't feel like natural.
It's a texture.
Natural fibers.
So, and one of the things that I said in my talk, last week was, this is how you teach yourself. You need to know. I can reach into the bins and sort through things, and don't wear gloves because I need to feel the fabrics. It is what it is. I'm not touching my face. I wash my hands, but I can tell by how something feels whether it's quality or vintage. Almost 99% of the time, I'm correct.
Yeah, it's just the sweatshirts especially, like t-shirts, yeah, are bad too, but whatever they're making sweatshirts with, it's just ugh. So why would you want to even buy that shit? Anything else?
No.
Well, this is mine, I guess. But next up for you.
This is another item that took a long time to sell. I'm going to say I actually would not have picked this up again because it took at least 2 years to sell.
And they're so
I
heavy.
think I paid like $7 for it, but it's super heavy. I was thrilled that this sold on Posh because I didn't have to worry about shipping it because this sucker has to weigh at least 6 pounds. So I'm just going to throw it in a box and whatever. I'll throw it in the flat rate and it doesn't matter because that stuff never matters on Posh. So I'm perfectly happy that it sold on Posh. I didn't need to deal with it. I would have sold it for $40. I was done with it. It was not a great one. Sometimes you can get, really nice motorcycle jackets. And I think I got this at a garage sale for like $5 or $6. So for me, I thought it was a good buy. I didn't look it up. I don't really look up stuff most of the time. But you can tell when something is quality. So brand new, this was probably super expensive, but the shit's this. I would never pick it up again.
Yeah. Well, then you gotta be careful because it's like, if something happens and you end up shipping it out and then they say I am not described and you end up
you pay $18 for it to come out.
It's just
especially because shipping is ridiculous these days.
Absolutely. All right. Next up, my last 2 sales are Depop sales. And let me tell you guys, so this I took an offer for. Somebody made an offer for $40. I got this shirt at the bins a while back, and it's not vintage, but I got it because it's like a repro reprint, but it's so destroyed. Speaking of being able to sell stuff that's destroyed, which I covered in my session at Camp Listing Party. This is a great example. This isn't even vintage, but it's absolutely destroyed. You can see those are all holes.
See, that's why someone bought it because it looks vintage.
It looks vintage. It looks super faded. It really does look like a legit vintage t-shirt because it's so just absolutely
They wore
destroyed.
the crap out of that in a really good way, though. Actually, the fade looks like uniform.
It just looks super cool.
It's like someone beat that with like a cheese grater.
Yep. This is one that I had picked up just because of that. Because I'm like, I know I can sell this to somebody who just wants that beat up look, and I sold it for $40. So, I mean, $40. I paid less than $1. It was really lightweight because it's so thin and ripped up. $40. It's not bad.
So some of you guys that watch the show might remember these. Yes, I am using a stock photo. So sue me. I only do it occasionally. But let me tell you, I needed the stock photo to show if you look at my other photographs, they're pretty hard to photograph it. That's a stock photo too.
I'm aware. Show them all the photos.
So I picked these up at the bins and I paid whatever weight based on weight, probably $5 because they're vinyl, not leather. So they're not, super heavy. But it took a little bit to sell, but they sold for $127 on Poshmark. Not even an offer. Yeah, they were pretty.
They're hideous.
I mean, listen, there's the whole fetish thing. It's a goth look. It's whatever. I mean, they totally look great on some little goth girl. It's not my style, but that doesn't mean that they don't look good. They're pretty cool. I would probably kill myself in those, but if they, not that they would ever fit up my fat legs, let's be clear, but even if they did, I would trip and kill myself. They're super high, but they're pretty cool looking.
Anything else?
No.
Guys,
just a brand. Keep an eye out for that brand, Dolls Kills.
Do you remember this shirt?
Mm-hmm.
I just showed it, I think last week. This was one of my bins finds like a week ago. And this was during my 5-day challenge while Vikki was in Nashville. And so I paid $1 for it. One of the bins guys was like, "Ooh, what's that?" I think a guy wanted me to sell it to him, wondered if I was selling it. And I said, no. Yeah, I definitely was not going to say I want $100 for it. But I was not going to undersell it because it was one of my favorite things I found at the bins. Paid $1 for it, sold it for $99.99. That means I have now sold 3 things on Depop so far, and I really only have like 600 listings on there. So I'm actually excited to get all the rest of my listings going on there once I can have like 2,000 listings. It seems like it sells better than Mercari, so I'm super happy about that. So those are my sales for the week. And Allison is in the chat. What?
Allison, we hope you can come to the remix. We would love to see you. We miss you.
We miss you.
Deb might be looking for a roommate. We'll see.
We'll see.
You guys should probably talk just in case. But yeah, I hope you come. We love you.
There's some puppies having a good time downstairs.
All I can hear is
squeaking their toys.
Squeak.
squeaking their toys. Anyway.
And now they're not whining or barking anymore because they're all in the same room.
And they're all squeaking their toys. Allison, we do miss you. We do miss you. Why you'll have to be all the way up in Alaska and while we're all the way down here in Vegas. Maybe someday that can change.
We were just saying that with Deb earlier. Like, it's like, it's some of our closest friends live many hours away. Deb's probably the closest. It's a 4 to 5 hour drive.
5 hour drive. So it's not at the end of the world.
Teresa's 5 to 6 hours.
Like Alaska's a little bit more of a hike than you're in Alaska. So. All right, so let's go ahead and do our haul. Like I said, we went to the bins yesterday. We went to the bins today, and because of kind of the little lopsided nature of our hauls from each day, we split up our hauls. So you're going to see some of the stuff that we found from both yesterday and today. And then Wednesday, we will be dropping our source with us, or let's go sourcing.
Let's go sourcing.
Let's go sourcing video. On Wednesday, we'll drop. That will have the rest of the stuff that we found. So there will be no overlap. And we made sure to save good stuff for that show as well. So you're going to see the good stuff in both of them. And so it's double the haul, guys, for the week. People have been saying that people are way more engaged afterwards, like in the comments in those videos than they are in these Sunday shows.
Let's be real. Not everybody, only our loyal peeps, watch an hour and a half every Sunday show.
Yeah.
Lots of people want shorter content to consume, and our haul videos are like 15, 20 minutes. So
they could skip to the haul part of the show.
We are trying to have something for everyone at this point. Yeah. You guys know that we are not content creators. We are not YouTubers. That's not something that we aspire to be.
That's not our number one priority.
Our number one priority is to be resellers and to be educators. And this is just one of our ways that we do it. So that's it. Yeah. All right. I will do my haul first.
Yeah,
I'm just going to power through it all and try not to talk too much so that I don't keep you guys here for at least another 45 minutes.
Are you done yet?
You're so rude, guys. Okay. So bins haul yesterday. I don't often pick up men's blazers, but I do pick up Western blazers all the time. So this is one. This is like an off-white corduroy with suede, and then it has suede patches. The brand is Pioneer Wear.
When did you get that? Yesterday?
Yesterday. The brand is Pioneer Wear. I've got a couple of them, actually, but I'm only showing this one. Made in the USA. This is what the tag looks like. There's too much. I got to wash it. Yeah. This one has to be washed. Pioneer Wear, that's what the tag is. So this is I paid like $3. There's some schmutz on it that I'm going to have to probably hand treat because I don't want this will come out like a big, nasty, wrinkly mess if I try to machine wash it. But these sell for $75 to $125 all day long. I very rarely find them in this color. So, it works well for Western, rockabilly, hipster, that whole type of look. There's many different ways that you can accessorize or make this look.
Michelle says I can't go to the bins and not fill my car, so I only go every so often. I'm amazed you can stop and go home. Well, so I think I can handle.
My back ends up killing me.
I can handle a longer period of time than Vikki can. The problem with our bins, some days it's great, and some days it's like they are on it, and it's like they are bringing out the new bins very quickly. Today was not one of those days. Today was like they didn't do a rotation until over 90 minutes after opening. And then it was like it was a really long time. They were like short staffed or something. So that makes it difficult. I do want to do a challenge where we do the bins for an entire day.
Oh, sweet baby
Vikki,
Jesus. I
don't think
she may die.
She might not be able to do it. So Jody, here's how you can make up your betrayal to me.
Jody, if Jody's doing it, listen, I'm going to come.
Here's what we're going to do. Jody, we need to plan a day, and we will do an all-day bins challenge. We'll have Vikki. You can leave if you
Somebody better bring snacks. That's all I have to say.
I think if we bring some snacks, you can go out in the car, get some air conditioning, and like chill for a minute. We're going to do, snacks. Just like how I did my daily challenge, we're going to do an all-day bins challenge where we're there from open to close.
It does depend on Jody's how she feels too. No, anyway, let me go.
We're going to plan it.
Okay, let's go. Anyway, okay, so certain cargo shorts, love them, hate them, whatever. I personally think they're one of the most hideous inventions ever. Cargo shorts and cargo pants, they're so style-wise. However, these are vintage 90s Polo Jeans Company with a little flag tag. These are huge. These are big cargo shorts. They're like a little frayed at the bottom and like army green. They've got the little logo on here. These are probably like $75. I think I could easily get $75.
On an unrelated note, I'm going to start wearing cargo shorts.
Good grief, I swear to God these days. If we make it to our 1 year anniversary and I have not murderlated her yet, you guys, I'm telling you.
How hot are the Vegas bins? I don't think they're unbearably hot. And today's a hot day, so they were okay. The problem is, for some reason, this week we've got a gnat infestation, and that is driving me crazy. Like,
and they're not air conditioned, but they do have a swamp cooler, which is similar to air conditioning that we use out here. It's not as good as air conditioning, but it's fine. Okay, so one of the things that I don't normally pick up is the brand Chico's. However, there's always an exception to the rule. So Travelers by Chico's is a good line that I almost always will pick up. I picked this up at the bins yesterday, paid about 75 cents. This is like a kimono duster, but it's got this purple fringe and it's kind of this burnout print. You know what I mean? Like it's clear and then it's got all, anyway, this particular one should sell for like $75 or so. And hi, Sarah Lee. I haven't seen that name in a while. So there's that. This is super tiny, but this came out in the bins today. This is a vintage, likely handmade 70s, late 60s, 70s. I think it's a girl's. It could be a super tiny junior's dress. But it's just really cute with the rickrack and the lace really and the bright colors, very patchwork, kind of not quite cottagecore, more like a cross between hippie and cottagecore based on the pattern and the colors.
So I regularly grab stuff from Vikki that she goes, no, thank you. This, because I don't know, like I have some idea, like I grabbed what it was like a that terry cloth robe vintage. Like I don't know why you threw it back. I don't know why some you get. I don't know. Anyway, this was sticking out of one of the bins when we were waiting to be told we could go, and so I would call Vikki over and I pointed at it, and she's like, "Ooh, grab it for me." And I was like, "Grab it for yourself. I'm going down there to look for shirts. I was just showing you, but
you were close."
And I said, "The t-shirt bros aren't going to grab this before you. Like it's just right there." I'm glad you got it.
Some of the girls do though. It depends on who's where, you know.
Bitches.
Okay, so. One of the things that's super hot right now is like 90s and Y2K clothing again. Like I've talked about like mud and LEI and whatever, like the tiny grave girl type of clothing, big baggy cargo shorts or cargo pants for women, with low rise, flare leg, tiny little tank tops and micro tops. That's super popular right now. So 3 tops that I picked up today that I normally wouldn't have gotten, but are definitely bread and butter in this day and age. If I were still on Depop, I'd probably throw them on Depop for 25 or 30 bucks. They'd go fast. But this is just a cute little, like Y2K 90s little camisole top. It's tiny. They're all small, but there's no name. There's no tags in it. I'll probably price this for like 30 or 40 bucks. This is another one. This is just from the Paris here in Vegas, the Paris Hotel. However, does everybody remember these? The tank tops, the ripped tank tops with the spaghetti straps that are made out of lace. Very 90s, very Y2K. This looks like it's a, like it feels like it's dead stock. So like, again, 30, 40 bucks.
Kristen's in the chat.
What's Brittany jeans? What are we talking about?
I think to go with your little
thingy. Yes, super low rise Brittany jeans. Listen, I'll go sell the crap out of those, but I don't hate them quite as much as I hate cargo pants. Super low rise. Let me tell you something. Unless if you were able to wear them the first time, you should not be wearing them the second time around. I'm just going to say it. I don't care what your body type is. I'm not body shaming.
Okay. On an unrelated note, I'm going to start wearing low rise and Brittany jeans.
Seriously, guys, I'm over.
Which one would you hit more? On me.
Low rise. Cargo shorts, at least you look like a proper lesbian. I mean, come on, we'll get you some like low rise Brittany jeans. You look like a weirdo.
It's like my belly hanging over.
Please don't do that.
Embroidered.
We're divorced. That's it. Okay, so this is a very popular. This was a popular juniors brand in the 80s and in the 90s and Y2K as well, like Zoe, sheer blouse with like these longer kind of hippie sleeves. It was like the 90s, 70s, right? A lot of that hippie boho stuff that happened. So again, 20 to 30, like $30 to $40 as far as the shirt goes. Not, this is definitely like bread and butter stuff.
Nice. Jody, now we're talking. I'm going to have Crystal make me some super low-rise cargo pants embroidered.
See what you started here, Kristen? Thank you very much. Deb says, I'm wearing camel cargo shorts right now. I'm feeling attacked. That's why she went downstairs. She's hiding downstairs.
You can't listen to her. Vikki thinks she knows everything.
Hey, Danny. Danny, the niche lady, is in the chat there. So we met a new friend at Camp Listing Party that I hope that he will come to the Boss Reseller Remix. His name is Aaron. He lives in Arizona. And
I have his card in my pocket.
yeah, like he has a newsletter talking about resellers and reselling. So I'm super excited about that.
Look at that. He's getting some free advertising. Yeah. I like him. He just started like 6-7 weeks ago, a reseller newsletter. So you should definitely check it out.
Deb, the question is, do you have a carabiner hook on your belt buckle? If you have a carabiner hook on your belt buckle with 75 P's, you fit. Anyway, so one of the nice things, Aaron is so cute. He went out and did some garage sales or some thrifting or something during the week while he was there for Camp Listing Party. And he came back and he's like, I still don't know how to sell clothing. I don't know why I got this shit. I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
Here, mistakes have been made.
He's like,
please take this from me.
Here, please take this. So he gave it to me, which was very sweet. So this is just one of the items I'm going to show. It's vintage, made in Taiwan, ROC. So it's like late 70s, early 80s. This is the brand. I've showed this brand before. This brand Miller, which is a popular sweater brand. This is like my favorite. He gave me 4 things. This is my favorite. It's a cream colored acrylic sweater with like this crazy suede beaded bib on it.
It's very dingly dangly.
And then like suede patch on the sleeve with dingle dangles. I don't know.
Dangly.
Super fun. I'll probably price it around $75. It is women's. It is a little bit on the smaller side. But thanks, Aaron. I appreciate that you gave me some inventory. And it was really great to meet you. I hope we get to see you again if you happen to be watching this. Now, this is my turn to talk about, since I poo-pooed these when Katy showed them to me originally, and she bought 2 pairs and then sold them for $90 a piece very quickly.
Guess who just happened to jump on the freaking bandwagon now that she realized that I know something.
So Anchor Blue vintage 90s Kmart brand. These are considered, these were made in, maybe made in Mexico. I haven't even really looked actually. 100% cotton. I don't even know. But in any case, these are the huge ones.
Which I like.
Made in USA.
There's ones that say baggy. I feel a little weird about calling one huge.
They're these super wide leg. They're not quite Jenko jeans, but they definitely fit that. So I'm going to price them at $129.
Hold on. See where's your tape measure? We're going to see what this cuff is because it's pretty big. I think that might be more than 10 inches. I'm going to be impressed. Let me see. Maybe it's like 10. Oh yeah, 11.5 inches, you guys. This is almost a foot
These are
wide.
like stovepipe wide legs.
Nice.
So isn't it crazy, Danny? Yeah, vintage, but these are 90s. I mean, Anchor Blue. First of all, let me tell you, I wasn't a name brand kid, right? I was wearing shit from Target. Didn't really exist where I lived, but Walmart and Kmart and JCPenney was probably as rich as we got in my family. I didn't have name brand anything, and I totally was wearing that brand in high school.
But let me say, I've seen a lot of Anchor Blue jeans and different types of Anchor Blue stuff at the bins. It looks like hot garbage, and I don't think would be something you actually could sell or market.
No, but look for the big wide leg ones.
Well, also
baggy.
Also the ones that have like these, like the one that says baggy, and this one says huge. It almost gives off that silver tab, Levi silver tab thing. Like that's what they're kind of trying to copy.
This was the welfare version of silver tab Levi's. Totally.
And so, and that's
it was probably $20 jeans, $25 jeans versus $55 jeans.
But they're nice quality. They seem like they're super heavy.
Jeans are jeans. I mean, really, most of them.
There's some crap jeans out there.
But yeah, they are quality. They're heavy. And it would just depend on where you shopped. Like if you had money, you were buying the Levi's. If you didn't have any money, you were buying these. I mean, I was buying these.
I was buying them at the thrift store. So
I didn't go to the thrift store.
I know you're too cool for school.
No, I'm not too cool. My mom was a snob, and she kind of made me a snob until I realized thrift is the way to go. And now I'm cheap as shit. Anyway, okay, so these are vintage 90s. Katy did find these for me yesterday. So these are vintage 90s. This brand is Squeeze by Harvey. This is a pretty common brand that you'd find a lot in the 90s.
I grab all overalls and give them to her because I don't know the difference. I don't know what's what.
So just vintage 90s wide leg overalls. Every time you find overalls that are vintage, that you can get them in a wider leg, men's or women's, it's irrelevant.
Yeah, I like the color on these.
The color, the size, it doesn't matter. You're going to want to grab them. The brand is irrelevant because all overalls that are made now, a lot of them are made with stretch, and they've got the fitted leg and the tapered leg or the narrow leg, and they're like skinny jean overalls. And I'm sorry, most people that want them want to wear them baggy and oversized.
We prefer them huge and baggy.
So these I'll price at probably $100, maybe $125. I won't sell them for less than $80 for sure.
Linda Dean wants to know if anyone remembers Dittos, and if you do, are you as old as Linda?
If Theresa were in the chat, she would remember them because we've talked about that before. Right. They are 70s jeans.
And Jody wants to say that she's been looking for vintage overalls that are long enough for her because she is a tall drink of water.
I may actually have some for you, Jody. Let me look in the inventory. Not those. Those are like a vintage size 7 or something. But I may have some that are long enough for you. I think the men's ones will work for you.
Yeah.
And I saw a girl at the bins, by the way, last week that had a bunch of vintage patches on just basic men's overalls, and they looked so cute. I'm thinking of doing that myself.
Yeah.
Anyway, so pick this up today. Lululemon. I don't normally pick up Lululemon anywhere, but again, this probably weighed like 3 ounces. It's just a top. I don't know. I'm going to have to look it up and figure out like what size and what the thing is called with the open back like that. But I mean, it was probably cost me like 50 cents. So I don't know what they sell for. Probably 30 or 40 bucks.
Yeah. Yep. So it's hard for us tall girls. Speaking of tall girls, one of our new posh BFFs, Tiffany, when I met her, I'm sure she gets this all the time and maybe it drives her crazy, but I was like, whoa, you're tall. Because we saw her in our virtual
she did our
meetup.
boss virtual meetup,
and
she just looks like this.
I just assumed she was just like a
petite
little
blonde.
Mm-hmm. She's like 5'11". She's at least an inch taller than me. She's over 6 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like,
and she wears heels, and her husband is the cutest little thing. Looks like a little Ken doll.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Joel, he's my dude.
This is not necessarily vintage. This is on All Style Tag, which is probably Y2K, even a little bit newer. But I'm only asking this because there's nothing on this, and I grabbed it because it was at the bins, and it's clean and it's not stained. But this is an anime something, right? So I don't know if this is an actual. There's nothing written anywhere. So any of my anime peeps, I'm probably sure I can,
pretty sure she has
image search, but
a condom in her mouth, so you're probably showing some sort of
maybe it's an anime porn character. I don't know, right? But I just want to know if anybody recognizes the name. They could tell me or message me, and that will determine whether it's worth sending or not, whether it's worth listing or not. All right, I only have a handful more. I have like 5 more, and then Katy hers. This I picked up, and I actually may just list this in one of my vintage groups that I'm in because there was someone specifically looking for this romantic type of slip dress. Like, this is very shabby chic type of pattern. Don't put that in your title. That is copywritten, and they will zero you. But this is a vintage 90s slip dress that just has little ruffles, flutter sleeves, cap sleeves. And then it has like the full skirt on the bottom, broomstick type skirt. It's just really pretty. It's not even a brand. The brand is useless. It doesn't, Eva Blue doesn't mean anything. But because of this style is back right now, I will probably still list this for like $75. Pretty. It's really pretty. There was someone looking for this type of dress in one of my groups. So I got to look it up and see if I can find it.
All right. Okay.
All right. Just a few more. I picked this up at the bins. Someone had zipped out the lining. I probably paid $10 for this because of the weight,
heavy.
maybe more. It is heavy. Someone had zipped out the lining, which probably had the tag on it, so I cannot identify who made this. But it is a super heavy top green leather, brown leather trench coat. It's a men's trench coat.
What else we consider a duster?
A duster. And it even has this little...
Which you found separately. You're really lucky
This
you
was in
found
a
it.
second bin. The collar thing, whatever the hell that's called. I'm sure I'll look it up before I list it, I promise. But it reminds me of The Dark Tower, if anyone is a Stephen King fan. Anyway, so It's like a long duster. It's really cool. It's in great shape. It just someone had zipped out the lining. It doesn't need the lining. However, there's no brand on it, so it's going to be kind of hard for me to find that.
Jody dropping some knowledge. Anime porn is called hentai, so possibly a keyword.
Probably a keyword.
Yeah, Sandy, I thought you also too.
Judd Nelson in the
1893, whatever.
Judd Nelson in the Breakfast Club. Yes, Susie, for sure. Okay, so I'm going to show you 3 pairs of shoes that I got at the bins today, and I don't always pick up shoes. I tend to pick up boots or whatever if I find them, because for some reason our bins bros don't care about boots, so I get lots of good cowboy boots. But these I just need to clean the soles up, the sides up a little bit. But these are Fry. What? These are leather Fry, like sneaker shoes, casual sneakers. These are super cool, and they're in great shape. A little magic eraser around the back and the sides. I don't do the bottoms. I'm not cleaning the bottoms. I know some people do that. I don't see
walk on those.
It's a waste of time. I'm not cleaning the bottoms of shoes. But I'll polish up the leather just a little bit because it's supposed to be looking distressed. But I don't know what I'm going to sell them for, but my guess is like $75, maybe more.
Nice.
Let's see. They are kind of like a Jake Peterman catalog. You're not wrong. Let's see. 2 more. This is a boot brand. These are kind of like, these are desert walking boots, and these are in great shape. They're suede. They're gray, or kind of like a taupe and gray. But this brand, if you're not aware of it, keep an eye out. It's AHNU. They're kind of expensive. They do hiking shoes and boots, and these are just kind of like desert boots. But
Quit walking in the desert, guys.
I feel like it was probably the same person donated them, because these did not have tags on them, which means they were not in a store. They wouldn't have lasted in the store.
No.
And they're the same size and both high end. So those I'll probably list for $75 as well. Yeah, shoes are by the pound at the bin. So if you're buying boots, you're going to pay $5-6 for them just based on weight.
Constance says, that coat reminds me of my paw. Now, when I first read that, I thought of like a dog's paw, and I'm like, my paw? I don't understand what they're saying. And then I realized you were saying my paw.
Like papa, like, yeah, grandpa or paw. Dad. All right, anyway. These are also Fry. These are just Fry dress shoes. Again, same size, probably came from the same person. Great shape as well. There are some scuffs on the toes. But honestly, I'm going to polish that, and it's not really going to make a difference. So,
what size are they?
I don't know. What are you going to steal them?
What size are they?
What? What size are they? You wouldn't wear them anyway.
When I dress up.
You wear your sneakers most of the time. They are a 10. So actually,
Big.
They're nice. Very soft and supple leather.
Ooh, supple.
All right. 2 more things to show. One is my bins find today.
So we got there a little bit late.
We did. We got there like 8:06.
Okay, but they let people in. My point is, they let people in at 8 o'clock, and everybody goes in. It's a huge group of people, and they all go in, go and they go crazy.
They do it like that,
like animal. Apparently, I'm doing crazy, and she found this because they're like 6 minutes late. So I'm just saying.
So we got there 6 minutes late. Everybody had already seen this or walked past it and it was pretty visible for me. I saw it sticking out and immediately knew what it was. And it has a tag on it, which we didn't know until later. We were like, what the $5.99 Goodwill tag, which meant this sat at the Goodwill and nobody bought this for $5.99.
I wonder if maybe it got tagged and it never got put out.
That's the only thing
I cannot imagine this would not sell.
Who's my peeps that know?
Yep.
This is a Beaver State Pendleton wool blanket. I'm going to sell this for at least $200.
There's no effing way that was on a floor in Goodwill. There's no way.
No way. Not
for $5.99. I feel more likely it got, I don't know. Who knows? There's no way.
Okay. So lastly, I wanted to talk about something people were watching last week. And I was talking about this vintage suede jacket. And I said, it's filthy. So I'm going to wash it. I'm going to wash it, put it in the washing machine, let it air dry. And then I stuck it in the dryer for 20 minutes to fluff it and get the crunchy out. So it's nice and soft again. I did that. And I'm going to show you. It's a vintage 70s suede jacket. It's a men's. It's kind of like a trucker jacket, but it's in a gray blue suede. Now, look at this great collar and everything. So it came out beautiful everywhere. There's no damage to it. It's
Still soft.
super soft. It's not
Supple.
crunchy. What I will say is the things that I could not fix and change were that it's faded. It's faded on the shoulders and going down the arm, and it's faded along the collar. So it's kind of yellowed along the collar. Now I'm going to sell it as it is, to be honest with you. But what I will say, I may actually take some time and re-scrub it and wash it again now that the first layer of dirt is off, because the inside of the collar is super grungy. So it's got like oils from, your skin, your hair, whatever. But people are not washing suede jackets, most people. So anyway, I've only paid a couple of dollars for it. I don't usually do the whole projects thing, but sometimes some things are worth saving, and this is one of them. So for all of you people that were like, let me see how it looks after the fact. Oh my God, you wash it in a washing machine and it's suede or leather. Here you go.
Yeah. So
don't be afraid to do it. If it's something that you cannot list the way it is, what are you risking? Or if it's super dirty and you want to get more money for it, again, what are you risking? This is not something I would do on just any item. But if you're going to want to get more money out of it and you don't have a lot of money invested in it, you wash it. Wash it by itself, on cold, in your washing machine, hang dry it. You may have to smooth it out to shape it a little bit. You don't want to have all the wrinkles. You don't want it to dry with all the crunchy wrinkles in it. So smooth it out so it dries the way it is. I dried it flat. And then I threw it in the dryer for 15 minutes today to fluff it and take any of the stiffness out. So don't be afraid to do that. I'm going to try to do it again, as a matter of fact, because I'm going to try to get the more dirt out of the collar. And now that the first layer is off, I'm going to scrub it a little.
So did you actually show the tag on this?
No.
Pendleton? Yeah. I feel like you showed it and then you kind of, all of a sudden you were done.
Oh.
So first of all, just show just so people can see the label. Anyway, so Britt brought up a fantastic.
It does have a couple little moth holes, but they don't go all the way through. And that, in my experience, does not diminish the value in Pendleton blankets. And it's not full of fur. Half the time people use them and the dogs and cats lay on them, and then you can't wash them because those are wool. You can't wash wool.
Let me get to the point here. Britt had a very good point, and he may have helped solve it, even though he was somewhat incorrect. He said, is there a date on the Goodwill tag might have been redonated? So that's a good theory. Very good theory, Britt. So I went and grabbed the tag. I have a new theory because here's what the date on the tag says, guys. So today is 7/2/2003. This tag is 6/28/2003. I think this was a new donation. It got priced, and I think maybe there was a lazy worker who didn't want to, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a pain in the ass to take the linens out and hang them up on a thing. And they went ahead and threw it in the whatever bin they have for stuff to go to the bins, because this would have been a new, there's no way it was there for a month. I don't know how long they usually wait. This was something that was just days ago, just last week. So
it's weird.
There you go.
Oh, look, Mikey Bags of Money in the chat and saying
everybody's coming to hang out with us.
Says hi to Britt, but not us. Thanks. Don't think I didn't notice your little video last night. Apparently, you guys are hanging out without us too.
Everybody's coming to hang out here now. We do 2 presentations at an event, and suddenly you want to hang out. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Mikey was there too. I think Mikey had more stage time than we did.
We totally did. Mikey was on 2 different panels. Yeah.
Oh, now he's saying.
Oh, now he says hi. Whatever.
And he gave us little hearts. I guess that makes up for it. Anyway. All right, are you done?
I'm done. That's it.
Hey guys, she has probably even better stuff for Wednesday's haul. So we still have to film that haul, but seriously, she's got some.
I got some good shit, and I paid. So just so you know, because yesterday and today both of my carts were full and pretty heavy with stuff because of what I purchased. I did spend $100 yesterday and $100 today. I usually spend between 50 and 60 to fill a cart, but a lot of my stuff was heavy.
I had over 30 pounds yesterday. I could barely hold onto the straps of my IKEA bag because it was so full of treasures. I didn't get as much today, but all right, you ready for my stuff?
Yes, I am.
So
I haven't seen most of it either, by the way.
Some of you've seen, but this is I'm gonna guess probably a game worn Arizona State Sun Devils or the Sun Devils. football jersey. Now it's got some issues. It's got a couple.
You'll be able to look up the name and the
Yeah, I'm
number
hoping
on
I
the
can
back.
find it. It's got some holes here, but it's that really heavy. This is not like one that you would normally like wear around because you're a fan.
Well,
or
part of
go
it
to
you can
school.
tell they're and your elastic shot in the arm.
That's
Be careful
okay.
there. But part of it you can tell because their real game jerseys have that poofy arm to
Yep,
fit
because it fits over the
your
padding.
shoulder pads.
Yeah, so it's that real heavy. I mean, it's got some conditioned shoes, but I'm hoping that whoever's going to buy it is somebody who just likes to collect vintage sports gear, sportswear from whatever, you know. So
Oh, it can totally be worn still, even with the short sleeves, because it
Yeah,
doesn't
they might
really
wanna-
affect
yeah, it does have
the
this
wearability. But
right here.
yeah, well,
Yeah, cool. Next up, I picked up this this tie dye because I just like the tie dye stuff, even though it doesn't seem to be moving fast in my store. Whatever, I still
because
like it.
it's so overdone. Everybody tie dyed everything.
This is like legit tie dye. This isn't like
It came that way. Yes.
I wore out. You know, some tie dye stuff. It's like it's really poorly done, or the colors get muddy. This is like a really nice, bright, rainbowy tie dye. And so I grabbed it because it is. I saw it on this Gildan tag.
Heavyweight.
Assembled in Nigeria, or sorry, assembled in Nicaragua of Canadian components. So this is probably late 90s, early 2000s.
That's when they started putting that, like assembled in Mexico of USA components or whatever. That was like that was a 90s thing.
Yeah, so 90s and early Y2K. So you know it's vintage at this point. We're in 2003 before. So I just grabbed it and I was like, it's in great condition. I did not look at the back until I got home, and then I saw the back and it made me even happier because I like this kind of stuff. This is Preserved Marine Life, Earth Keepers, San Diego. And it's just got some cool dolphins. So, you know, to me, it made it like a little bit more fun. Next up, this is one of the things I got today. Not anything crazy exciting, but however, guys, I did sell a bingo t-shirt this week. I did not share that, but now, so of course, when I saw this bingo sweatshirt, I'm like, heck yeah, maybe I'll wear it when we go hang out with
Shelly.
But it's all embroidered. It says bingo, so it was fun. It doesn't have a tab.
Britt has a request
Yes.
because he watches on TV and doesn't read the chat. So, Katie, can you please, going forward, please pop up any messages to him on the screen?
Oh,
for him
messages
read?
to him.
Yes.
So I have to go and
Please and
type
thank
it.
you.
No, I cannot. Oh, he means messages from other people.
Yes.
Okay. No, sorry. Sorry, that's a bit excessive. All right, this is not vintage. I got this today. It needs to be washed and bleached. But it's a couple of things. It's a raglan / baseball tee, and it's also a Jesus tee. So
it crosses a couple of different of your checks a couple of boxes.
It's got some staining. Hopefully, I can get off. But it says Jesus changed my life at Victory. What does it say? Victory Outreach. It's really soft. It just needs to be washed.
It's a really soft raglan. Yeah.
It's a nice size. So I feel like it could sell it for like $35. Maybe $1 for it. Next up, I'm gonna say for everything.
I'm gonna pop this one up because Jody asked me to.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, you're a turd.
Can you see that, Britt? Can you see that Jody says you're a turd? I'm popping that one up, turd.
All right, now we'll hide it.
All right. Next up, I've got this TJ shirt. This is a ringer tee. You can see the TJ's tag right there, made in the USA. This is most likely late 80s, early 2000, or sorry, late 80s, early 90s. Ringer tee. It just says "Girls suck." I don't know how well that's going to sell, but it says
Girls suck.
Girls suck. Whatever. The vintage tee. I was desperate. Today I was desperate, you guys. This is actually like probably the best vintage tee I got today.
Oh, I saw that.
I like this back. Why would you not grab this for me?
Because I thought it was like an elementary school shit. I didn't think you wanted it. Sorry about it.
Why?
I did pick another one and give it to you.
I know, and I appreciate it, but I want this too. It's got a great graphic on it. Come on, guys, can you believe that she wouldn't think that I would want this for less
It does
than
kind
$1?
of look very Saved by the Bell, Zach Morris.
I'm still trying to recover right now, knowing that she threw this back and wasn't going to give it to me. Not even to like take for herself, but she was like, "Oh, Katy doesn't even need this."
I saw the tag and I picked it up and I felt it and I saw that it was vintage, but then I realized I didn't think you would want it. That's not what it was. Never mind. Show it. Hurry up.
This is the tag. It's 90s Hanes. This is the front.
It looks like the Bengal Tigers. Isn't it the Bengal Tigers?
The thing is, it doesn't matter if it's like a middle school. Because somebody is potentially going to buy this just because it's a vintage tee with a tiger on it. And they may be somebody who's into the Christian stuff. So there's a lot of reasons why it's supposed to pick up. Anyway, Trinity Christian School. It's got the cool tiger on it. And then cherry on top, it's got paw prints on the back, y'all. So, I mean, come on.
All right. I didn't see the paw prints. That might have won me over.
That's my favorite vintage tee I got today. She was just like, nope, doesn't matter. I'm even going to show it to Katy.
Sorry about it.
Next up, I have, this is a women's, I don't get a lot of women's stuff, but women's sweaters, I actually have a few of them listed. I don't know why. It's like, to me, they're easier to deal with than the other women's clothing for some weird reason.
Yeah, but it's a nice pattern.
It's a really cool pattern. It says
vintage.
A ladies large. It's Cabela's.
Hunting.
That hunting sportswear store.
This is vintage for sure.
Definitely
Heavy wool. It's like Fair Isle.
Kind of
with
Fair
like,
Isle.
But also has like
Nordic.
the Greek key, Nordic, and Nordic thing all kind of mixed together. But
thick collar, high collar.
heavy. It's got a little schmutz on one shoulder. You're gonna
Yeah, it does. It does. I actually think a dude could wear this and it wouldn't be.
It's fine. That's one of those unisex.
All right, next up, Jody, you're gonna lose your mind. I'm pretty sure you love this movie. This is a shirt I got for me, and luckily
I have the matching one.
Luckily, there you go. We should wear it together.
I'm very excited.
You know, because I didn't even think about that. I'm so excited now. Anyway, she does have a matching shirt to go with, not matching, but complimentary shirt to go with it. It's black. It's my size. And it's a movie I freaking love by a director I'm obsessed with.
It's not vintage.
It's not vintage at all. That's why it's.
So you're just showing it because it's for you.
Yes, and people in the audience, such as Jody, is gonna think it's cool.
Why are you so angry?
Jeez,
You're very aggro today.
Keeping the energy up.
Cut down that.
No, I won't do it. Anyway, this is a Johnny Depp Crybaby t-shirt. John Waters, one of my favorite directors, one of my favorite movies of his. I love it. Crybaby. Vikki does have what's her name on a t-shirt saying "Beat It, Creep." So she'll have to wear that. Tracy Lords on a t-shirt saying "Beat It, Creep." And so I think we're gonna have to go somewhere where I'm wearing my Crybaby.
See, Susie says the hand gestures are getting dangerous. See, she's super aggressive.
She didn't say she didn't want me to do it. She just said they're getting dangerous. Maybe she likes to live on the edge. Jeez.
Maybe she wants to see me get punched in the face.
I'm doing it on this side. If I was doing it on this side, that'd be different. Anyway, I was really excited about it.
I think we need to lay off the caffeine today, Katy. I don't know.
Nope. All right, next up, Vikki actually gave this to me because, as we've talked about on the show, one of the things about eBay is that if you sell more frequently in a particular category, you often sell. It's like it perpetuates itself. It's a cycle.
The
right?
algorithm favors you in categories you sell infrequently. It'll keep showing.
So if you're regularly listing a certain category, you're going to sell it more often. So what happens is there's certain items that I can sell more quickly for better prices than Vikki can. Although I do tend to sell them more on Etsy. I don't know, maybe it's the same thing there. But we've talked about how Vikki cannot sell the vintage Dickies jackets to save her life, and I sell them every time. And this has been for years. This has been the entirety of our relationship.
Because I've always picked them up and think they're cool and know that it's very much a rockabilly type of thing that people wear them. It's just a vintage mechanic jacket, warranted. Again, can't use that word, but
workwear kind of jacket. And this one's a really good size. It's 2XL. It's black, so it's great color.
She sells them easily every time. $50-$60. I cannot give them away for $20.
Yeah. So she finally threw in the towel and she found it. She knows that I'm going to be able to sell it. So
let's see. All she hears is I didn't give her the other t-shirt.
Well, the problem was you didn't even keep it for your. Don't tell me to move on. The problem is you were just going to throw it away. You were going to let somebody else have it.
Because I didn't. I just wanted it, baby. I promise.
All right. Another Dickies. There was a lot of Dickies stuff. Dickies stuff was from yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
This one is. This is a Dickies jacket.
This one also looks like it may be vintage.
Yeah. So, and it's nice extra large. It's like a nice canvas jacket. You know, like the Carhartt stuff that sells really well.
And the
Dickies doesn't sell for as much, but it's still, I should still be able to. I haven't done the research on this one, but for Ben's prices, it's a nice insulated, hooded workwear jacket.
Why did you just drop on the floor?
I don't know. Nice shit. I was gonna get you a hook.
It's an ornament hook. See, all the crap that's in the bins came home.
Anyway, it's got fleece lining. It's nice and heavy. I don't know what this will sell for. I mean, I have to research, but I mean,
Gotta be at least $75.
At least $75. Let's just say that. I should be able to sell for $75. We got 2 things left, guys. That's all. Next up, Vikki and I both really like, this is a problem because we both really like to buy vintage, like Letterman's jackets, leather sweaters. So sometimes we have to fight over them.
There was no fighting though. I didn't see this one.
Well, she didn't see this, but I'm just saying we both really like Dickies. This I actually think it's really cool because it's vintage, but it doesn't have, it was never no letter ever put on it, so anybody could put whatever they wanted on it. So people would like put your own patch on it, a patch made or embroidered patch made put on it. It's just black.
I could put a vintage patch on it too.
Yep, it's just black with yellow highlights. And it's on the
Black and gold.
Rock Creek Athletics, made in the USA, and it's a nice big size too, 3XL. It's got the leather sleeves.
It needs some sweater shaping, which
Yep,
Katy
it does.
enjoys doing.
It does, but overall it's in really good shape. And
We should get at least 100 for it.
it's a nice blank canvas for somebody. So I just think it's really cool.
And that type of thing, like vintage jackets like that, vintage sweatshirts, vintage t-shirts, you make sure you put in the title blank.
Yeah. Well, and it's a 3XL, so it's a really nice big size. It's not like a vintage teeny tiny size. So I was actually really excited about this. Now, remember how earlier, because I am having a very physical demonstrative show, remember how earlier I talked about when the doors open into those bins, the rabid wolves are released, and
They're like,
"Ah!" and they're digging, they're throwing, they're going crazy. So here's the thing.
that is an accurate representation of what our bins look like too.
Here's the thing. Stuff gets thrown, and a lot of people aren't sitting there looking on the floor. They're just going in the bins, right? So there was yesterday, there was a rotation where they were starting to remove the bins, right? And I walk over there. So those are the bins that have been there for the longest. They've been there for at least
40
minutes, or at least an hour. And I look down and I see, like, stuck under one of the wheels, I see this buffalo plaid, and I'm like, well, I recognize that. That looks like Woolrich to me. It's like, when you get to the point where you can see
Like a Pendleton.
across the room, you can see Woolrich. Woolrich is all about the buffalo plaid when it comes to their stuff. It's like over there, and I seriously haven't moved this bit. It is under the wheel. I pick it up. It's freaking vintage Woolrich. And I'm like, how the hell?
Like vintage, 60s or earlier.
No. This is like this.
I can't see the tag.
Maybe it could be 7th. Earliest it would be, I think, it's like 70s.
Might be 70s
Because of the actual tag. So this tag, 70s through like the early 90s, I believe. But the collar's got a little bit of a point to it.
heavy buffalo plaid jacket. Wool jacket.
All the buttons are there. It's in fantastic condition. There's no holes. This is wool.
And you paid $3 for it,
Maybe, yeah.
and you'll get at least 100.
At least. It's awesome. And a little trick that I love to tell people anytime you get a piece of something wool, if you're near windows and sunlight, hold it up in the air, like a single layer in the air with the sun on the other side, you'll see very quickly if there's any holes. You don't want to sit there and be like,
it's super scratchy. You definitely want to wear some. I personally don't like the feel of that type of wool. I don't like Pendleton either. It feels like a Pendleton blanket. So you definitely want to wear it over something else. That would make anybody's skin scritchy.
It was on the freaking floor, guys, because the animals got in there, knocked it on the floor. It got underneath and it got overlooked.
You paid $3 and it'll sell for a minimum $150. I bet that sells on Etsy for $200. That's my estimation.
I'm gonna go minimum $100 because sometimes stuff takes longer. Maybe I'll get impatient and I'll take an offer. But I'm gonna say I'll sell it for a minimum of $100. And I paid $3 for it, and that's probably my best find, like vintage piece that I found in the last 2 days. But I was really excited about it. I'm like, what? Say what?
All right, so we went long, per usual. Thank you to those of you that actually watched the whole thing or hung out with us, and even those of you that watched it on replay. So hopefully you're doing something enjoyable for this long holiday week. Not quite a holiday weekend because lots of people have to work tomorrow. I know we have to at least ship tomorrow on Monday because the post offices are open.
Yeah.
But holiday on Tuesday. So hopefully, I know some people that if you have a job, you are off. For the 4 days, you get a 4-day weekend, which is nice. So anyway, celebrate it or not, whatever you like to do. Hopefully you get a cookout, somebody have a hot dog or
Get some earplugs.
We're going to stay home with the dogs. We tend to do that almost every year. We may have a couple of friends over and do a very low-key BBQ because honestly, we're going to be mostly inside. This is our
It's
winter
real
here
hot.
in Vegas. It's real hot. We don't have a big enough pool for people to like hang in cool enough in the pool. So we'll be hanging in with,
Yeah.
inside the air conditioning.
Anyway, guys, we will see you later. Keep an eye out for Wednesday when we are going to have that other haul video.
And hang on to your dogs,
the
by
rest
the way.
of our stuff.
Hang on to your dogs because,
Yes.
dogs, for the most part, really, really, really hate fireworks. And I hate to see all these
Freaks 'em out,
people that
man.
they run away or they, lose them because they run out of the yard because they get scared and just take care of your animals. Please.
Yeah. All right, guys, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.